Hi there, and thank you for joining me today for some yoga. We're going to go right into a series of poses that are going to warm up and energize the body. Perhaps you've been sitting and you're feeling just a little bit cold from not having a lot of circulation going, or maybe your muscles are just tight and you want to energize and wake up the body. This would be a great sequence for first thing in the morning, or any time of the day when you need to just re-engage and reinvigorate. So join me for these poses, and we'll end the practice with a standing meditation to keep our energy flowing and moving, but to ground and calm ourselves before we go on to whatever's next in our day. So if you have a mat, great, find yourself standing in the middle of it. Otherwise, make sure you've got room around you, and go ahead and take your feet nice and wide. So we're just going to step out wider than the length or than the width of our hips, about a leg's length apart. So a nice wide stance, but you still want to be able to bend your knees so that you can root down into your feet and you're not feeling hyperextended. Take just a moment and check in with what feelings you're bringing into your practice right now. Maybe you've, again, had an anxious part of your day, and so you're trying to ground back down, or maybe you've just woken up, and so you're still feeling a little sore from the bed and maybe a little bit groggy. Bring whatever those feelings are to this place so that you can work through them as we practice. So ground down through your feet, pressing into the four corners of the feet. Maybe pick your toes up, or at least be conscious that you aren't gripping the mat with your toes. And as you press out through the outer edges of the feet and root through the base of the big toe, we're going to take the arms out wide and make a star shape. Lift up through the crown of your head, soften the belly back. So instead of arching our back forward, we're going to draw the belly in and neutralize the spine. So we're standing tall, reaching out through the fingertips, soften your shoulders, and just feel the energy beginning to come into your body. So we're going to move through two poses here. This is five-pointed star, and we'll come here for our inhale. And then we're going to turn our heels in and draw our elbows down, bending the knees. We'll exhale. So just flow like that. Inhale, five-pointed star, reach out, press, and lift. Exhale, bend and draw it in. This is goddess pose. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring your hands to your hips. Keep the knees bent and just rock gently side to side. Start to wake up the quads and the hamstrings and the calves and the ankles. Feel yourself rock back and forth. Keep that breath going. Inhale. Exhale. In and out through the nose. One more big breath. And then come to center. Draw down through the base of the tailbone. Reach the crown of the head up. Lengthen the spine. And then press up to stand. We're going to take the arms back out like a set of wings. Turn your right toes to face forward. And then turn your left toes away to face away. So if you are looking at the camera, you'll turn your right toes towards me and your left toes away. We're going to bend the left knee and come into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana. Now that tailbone stays released. So again, we're not arching the back. The belly draws in and up to keep us supported. Front knee comes over the ankle. And we open the arms out wide, shoulders away from ears. Breathe here. Maybe turn and look over your middle finger. And soften your gaze. One more big breath. And take your right hand, place it on your thigh. Turn your left palm over, looking at your palm. Follow it as it lifts up and overhead, stopping above. In reverse warrior, open the left side body. Breathe here into the ribs. One more breath, soft gaze. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Press the front leg straight. Turn those toes now to face the camera. Turn your right toes in the opposite direction and bend your right knee. Warrior two on the other side. Soften the tailbone, navel draws in and up. Right knee over ankle, press into your foot. Press into the outer edge, that's the pinky toe side of your back foot, your left foot. Reach the arms, soften the shoulders. Turn and look over your right hand. Breathe here, warrior two. Left palm finds your thigh. Right hand turns over. Look at your palm and look as your palm lifts up and overhead. Reverse warrior. Stop when your palm reaches overhead. You don't have to stretch back to where you can't see it anymore. Just stay right here and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, reach it back out, warrior two, and straighten your right leg. Turn all 10 toes to face the front. Hands on your hips. Now once more, we're going to turn the heels in, bend the knees, and sink down into a squat. Waking up the inner thighs, the hips, and the leg muscles here. From this place, with the soft knees, your toes may feel the need as we fold forward to turn in or out a little bit more. That's okay. Follow what your body's asking for. We're going to take one hand off of the hip and gently reach forward towards the ground, lifting the tailbone and folding forward. Now again, your feet may need to adjust a little bit, but once you're comfortably in a forward fold, release your other hand to the ground and soften to bow. Bend your knees here as much as you need, and then gently drape your heart and your head forward, shaking your head a little yes and a little bit no to release and relax tension in your neck. Don't forget to breathe here. One more deep breath, and then on your inhale, lift your spine, look forward, and then softening your knees, walk your hands to the left, pivoting your feet as you walk around, and then lifting your right heel, bringing you into a lunge with your left foot in the front and your right leg in the back. Left knee over ankle, press into your fingertips. If you have props at home like books or blocks, you can lift your hands up to help with that, or stay high on your fingertips and lengthen your spine. Soften your right hip down and lift to lengthen. One more deep breath. Placing both hands on the mat. Bend your knees and step your left foot back, coming into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, really softening your knees and allowing your hamstrings and the backs of your hips to open up. We're going to root down into the hands, the whole hand pressing into the mat or into the floor, and soften the shoulders away from the ears so that we don't end up here in a rounded push-up, but instead we release everything back, shoulders away from ears. We should be able to shake the head yes and no here. And when you finish pedaling out your feet, bend both knees deeply, lift your tailbone towards the ceiling, and then from that place of length, soften the heels down. They don't have to touch the mat, but you'll feel the backs of the legs lengthen here. And you just have to find that sweet spot between bent knees and long legs so that you feel like work is happening. Take 3 big breaths here. And then bending your knees, walk your hands back to meet your feet, and roll up to standing. Come back to your central place and take the feet out wide once more. I'm going to turn around, but you can stay exactly like you are. We're going to keep the feet wide. Take the hands behind the back. Interlace fingers. If you interlace your fingers and can't keep the heels of your hands together, like so, then you'll want to just hold a wrist or even hold at the forearm. So whichever of those works best for you, find that now and take 3 deep breaths. Lifting the heart and opening the chest. Release the hands, place them on the hips, soften the knees, and when you're ready, fold forward once more. Release one hand and then the other to the earth, soften and bow. Shake the head yes and no. Then bending the knees, walk your hands to the right this time, pivoting the feet, lifting the left heel, coming into lunge on the other side. Right knee over ankle, left leg is out in the back. Come up on fingertips, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Left hip softens towards the floor. Right knee over ankle, press into your right foot. Press back through the left heel. Look forward, 2 big breaths. Soften your knees, hands to the earth. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Don't forget to breathe. Soften the jaw. Relax the gaze. Shoulders away from ears. One more breath. Bend the knees. Walk your hands back to your feet. This time, grab your elbows in your hands. Let your head hang in the space created by your arms and soften your knees to just hang over your legs like a rag doll for 2 breaths. And then release your hands onto your shins. Lengthen your spine, looking towards the end of your mat or a few feet out in front of you, and begin to press into your hands as you lift and lengthen your spine. Now we want to feel work in the backs of the legs, but they should never be locked out. So take a soft bend in the knees and lift up to make a tabletop with your spine. Push forward through the crown of the head, send the tailbone back, navel draws in towards the spine. One more big breath as we wake and warm here. And then really firing up the belly, working your core. We're gonna take the arms out like wings, take a deep breath in, and exhale. Press up to standing. Release your hands together at your heart, Samastitihi. Just take a moment, drawing your chin in and drawing your nose in the direction of your middle fingertips. Just soften your eyes and find yourself standing tall here. Hopefully your heart is beating a little bit faster. We've moved some energy around in the body and begun to wake the systems of the body. Soften shoulders away from ears. Don't lock out your legs. Tuck your tailbone gently towards the heels and broaden across the front of the hips and across the collarbones. And then opening the eyes again to a soft gaze. We'll take a deep breath in. Make sure your feet are about hips distance apart and you're pressing into all 4 corners of the feet. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, bend your knees and sit into an imaginary chair. We're gonna flow here for a few moments. If at any point you feel yourself really losing the ability to stay in the chair posture, then just come up to a nice, comfortable stance with soft knees, and we'll continue to do the arm movements. But coming into your chair, we're gonna take inhale, out like wings. Exhale, back to the heart. Inhale, right up, left down. Exhale, back to the heart. Inhale, left up, right down. Exhale, back to the heart. And we'll repeat that cycle 2 more times. So inhale, arms out like wings. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, right up, left down. Exhale. Opposite side, inhale. Exhale. If you're still in chair, soften the tailbone back. Draw your shins back. 1 more cycle. Inhale, out like wings. Exhale together. Inhale, open diagonally. Exhale together. Opposite side once more. Exhale together. Inhale, press up to stand. Exhale, reach the hands overhead. And look at the space between your hands. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, hands to the heart. Samasthiti. I'm going to turn back to face this way. You can continue to stay whichever direction it makes the most sense, but we will be stepping into down dog. So if you need room to step back, you may want to adjust yourself that way. So we're here in Samasthiti. Inhale, this time the arms make a big sweep up and around. And as we exhale, bend the knees and sit into your imaginary chair. Inhale, stand firm, holding the chair. Exhale, soften and bow forward into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Lift up through the backs of the legs, fold over the legs, shake the head yes and no. Now with your fingertips planted on the mat, we're going to bend the knees and step the right foot back. Put your right heel on the floor, and then place your hands on your left knee. We're going to press the arms straight and come up into standing. The back foot is flat with the toes at an angle. The front foot is also flat with the toes pointed straight ahead. Place both of your hands on your hips and take your right hand and begin to gently draw your right hip forward. Eventually, we want to work on the hips both facing the same direction forward. But go to where you can for today, stop there, and sweep your arms up. Inhale. Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana. One more breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Lift your right heel. Step your left foot back, down dog. 2 breaths. Bend your knees. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Fire up the belly. Open arms like wings and rise to stand. Exhale. Palms to the heart. I'm going to turn around so that I can stay on my mat. You can simply step forward, whatever works best for you. This is a very free-flowing practice. If you're home without a mat, then you're just making the most of your space, and that's what this practice is all about. So we'll move to the other side now. Hands to the heart, Samasthiti. Inhale, reach your arms out and wide and up. Exhale, bend the knees and sit into your chair, Utkatasana. Inhale, lengthen, keep the knees bent. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. This time, bend your knees, step your left foot back and place the heel on the floor. When you are ready, both hands on your knees, on your right knee, and press yourself up tall. Then move your hands to your hips And soften that left hip forward. When you're ready, arms sweep up, warrior one. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, hands come to your hips. Pivot on your feet and come back to a wide leg stance one last time. Similar to how we started the practice, we're going to shift our weight back and forth. But now that we've warmed the body a little bit more, we're going to fold forward and make this a very sweeping, fluid motion. And I want you to pay attention to how your body has changed and opened and awakened since you began this practice. We'll do that together, and then we'll come back to our standing posture to complete with our standing meditation. So when you're ready, really bend the knees. You may need to bring the feet in a little bit this time. Really bend the knees and fold forward, just as we did before. But this time, we're going to begin walking over to the left and bend the knee as deeply as feels comfortable for you. You can come completely into a lunge, like almost a squat here, or you may stay with your foot flat on the floor and just bend it a little bit here. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk over to the other side. Same thing. Notice how one side is different from the other. Maybe one hip is tighter than the other. And we want to always err on the side of the tighter joint. So be mindful of that. And then we're just going to do that back and forth 4 breaths. Inhale to one side. Exhale to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale to center. One last time. Inhale over. Exhale to center. Fold forward one last time. And then lifting up, we're going to place hands on your hips and then press to stand, bringing your feet in, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, until the feet are about hips distance apart. And from here, we're going to move our hands down at our sides to face the front of the space. So you'll be facing them towards me on screen. We're moving into Tadasana, mountain pose. We haven't actually done this posture in this practice because I wanted it to feel like a place of rest for us. So press into the 4 corners of your feet. Soften your knees as you energize up through your legs. Palms turn forward. This helps us keep the shoulders away from ears. Lift up through the spine, but soften the belly back so that you don't arch. Soften it back. Broaden the collarbones. That again is helped here by the turning in of the pinky fingers. Lift up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes. Notice all of the little tingling sensations that are happening in the body since you've been moving and working. That's your body's way of saying that it is alive and alert. And it gives you energy to move into the areas that you need. Take a moment and try to quiet your mind. The practice is almost over, but don't lose sight of this time that you've given to yourself. You don't have to worry about your to-do list or whatever is your next thing on your calendar. For just a few more moments, be here, simply thinking about yourself, what you need in this moment to be present and happy and whole. You may take this moment to list a few items that you are grateful for. I know for me right now during this challenging time, I am grateful for the safety of my home, the beautiful part of the country that I live in where I can come outside and be here. And I'm grateful for all of you practicing with me, knowing that even though we may be separated, our energy is still coming together to create community. So maybe take a few moments and mention to yourself what you're grateful for at this time. Remember that you can always come back to this place. If you feel your anxiety rising or you feel just exhausted at the end of a day, you can always come back to this place. Re-energize yourself, remind yourself of your gratitude, and stand in your own marvelous existence. When you're ready, you can keep your eyes closed, but gently bring your hands back together at your heart into Anjali Mudra, a gesture of gratitude. And I'll offer this closing prayer for all of us. As the wind carries our prayers for earth and all life, may respect and love light our way. May our hearts be filled with compassion for others, but also for ourselves. And may peace increase on earth, and may it begin with me. Thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay well. Namaste.